Welcome, everybody, to another Bible School evening. It's exciting to be here. It's exciting for me to share tonight's teaching. To me, it's an exciting eye-opener. And we are now in week 4, and I hope that so far this has been educational to everybody. Because, as I've said before, it's not only for leaders, it's for people in general. And everybody has the potential to be a good leader or a conscious leader. So the choice is yours. So please do me a favor and get those thumbs up, like our channel, subscribe to the channel, and please share this with as many friends as you can. And watch it over and over and over again, because you hear things in a different perspective every time you do. So let's get into tonight's teaching. Tonight we're dealing with understanding the drama triangle versus presence. So last week we discussed the art of being present, or the art of presencing. And we did a little bit of a practical exercise on focusing on how to have the key of being present. In other words, you breathe and you're focused only on that breath. And that causes your brain to focus and to come, at that moment. And it's very important in life to do that, to be present when somebody's talking, to be present when you're in a meeting. So when a leader is conscious, they are aware of that moment. And as a result, they achieve much more effective results. Conscious leaders always know the difference from working from presence to working from drama. So where do you work from, presence or drama? So Psalm 84 verse 10 says, "Better is one day in your courts, which is the presence of God, than 1,000 elsewhere." So it is better to be in the presence of God than to be anywhere else. And I do believe that conscious leaders are always in the presence of God, because it's from the presence of God that they function. So before we remember, we had the meridian line, and you're either above the line or you're below the line. And if you're below the line, then you are functioning in a state of drama. And that drama is because you're fearful, because you're in a state of being threatened. So everything seems to be blown out of proportion. So when we draw the drama triangle, so this is the drama triangle, you have 3 different characters in this drama triangle. And our first character, sorry, I've actually drawn this upside down, but it doesn't matter. Our first character is the hero. Okay? The second character is the villain. And the third character is the victim. So actually from all 3 of these names, you can see that something's coming. So stay tuned, I'm going to deal with you now. The drama triangle always runs with the hero, the victim, and the villain. From a place of blame, fear, and always being right. Remember before we said that under the line you always want to be right, your ego always wants to be in charge, and that's often where people miss it today. So, like in a drama on television, you've always got a storyline, you've always got characters, and you've always got like a plot, and that all works together, and you get a TV series drama. And it's exactly the same in our lives. You've got a plot, you always know what you're doing, you want to always be in control, and you want to manipulate the situation. So there's always drama around you. And the hero's job, what does a hero do? A hero is there to save people. You know, Superman. Superman to the rescue, or Thor, or whatever. And a hero always seeks temporary relief. And the operative word there is temporary. It's only a temporary solution that he will give. He doesn't ever get to the core value of the root of the problem. So it's not a long-term solution. It's just dealing with what is happening right now. The hero is one who gives temporary relief, a quick fix, a quick solution, a quick way to make a buck. He is the kind of person that will give a man a fish sandwich instead of teaching that man how to fish. A hero does not want themselves or others to feel bad. So they say and do things that makes the immediate pain go away without facing or dealing with the core issue of the problem or the root thereof. When you are extremely exhausted, you tend to do things like out of your character, like you'll binge eat, or you'll surf the net uncontrollably, or you'll get so stone drunk because you want to hide the pain with alcohol. And that all comes out of trying to fix a problem immediately. You're trying to cover up something that's there that you're not dealing with. So people turn to these things like habitual television watching, or some form of imbalance, what I would call an imbalance in life. So when other people are sad, this hero tries to help them by saying, "It'll be okay," or "I'll do it for you, don't worry." So a hero seeks value by being needed by others. So do you immediately see there the egotistical thing that comes out from the threat? He wants people to need him. It's not about the people or helping them, it's about what he wants. So the second person in this triangle is the villain. And we all know from the cartoon shows that the villain is usually a bad person. He always goes out to want things for himself. And he will walk over and step over anybody he can get to do. So the villain's job, therefore, is to blame. He's the one that always says, "It's your fault. You shouldn't have done that. You should have worked harder. You messed up. You. Never me. I'm right. I'm always right." He can blame himself, but he usually ends up blaming other people or the circumstances around him. So he never takes responsibility for anything he is doing. It's always his team or somebody who's let him down. He usually, when he blames himself, then he says, "Oh, I shouldn't have eaten that donut." Or maybe I should have tried harder, or I didn't give my best. When he blames others, he always says it's your fault. It's all your fault. You didn't give your best and you messed it up. And when he blames a group or a team, he says, well, they messed it up and they just don't get it. So the third person in this scenario is our victim. And the victim is always at the effect of others. In other words, everybody else's situations are affecting the victim. He is the one that says, well, life is happening to me. He's the kind of person that says, the conditions coming against me, or the circumstances coming against me. The condition is doing something and or not doing something that causes the victim's life to be as it is. So again, there you get the shift from me being responsible to I'm blaming everything else around me. And it's very easy. It is extremely easy to blame your situations around you. Well, I'm in the mess that I'm in because of my situation. No. You have a choice. You know, I heard a saying on the weekend and it said, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And you will see later in the lesson what I mean by that. The victim can be anything to the victim, like his boss. It's my boss's fault. My boss is doing this to me. I've had a rough day. My boss doesn't understand. My boss is shouting at me. And wada, fish paste. It could be the kids. You know, the kids don't listen and they don't do this and they're not doing that. And I've had a rough day with the kids and you don't understand. You're not, it's your fault. It's your children. You know, it could be the weather. They're not happy whether it's cold. They're not happy whether it's hot. It could be their jobs in general. It could be the traffic. You know, that guy cut in front of me. It doesn't matter what you did on the road. The economy affects them, their bodies, their moods. So they are really affected by everything around them. And it's, you know, it's that poor me syndrome. You know, sorry for me, I've been through a hard time. So when I am a victim, I feel powerless. And I believe in my heart that you are surrendering to that power. You're surrendering to the when something overpowers you, you're surrendering to that circumstance and you're giving in to that authority. And so it leaves you feeling powerless because you're not taking control or responsibility for what you have to do. So this triangle, the triangle that's formed, this triangle is a form of victim consciousness. In the end, everyone is trying to prove that they are the biggest victims. So your situation is worse than mine. You do not understand what I have been through. No, you don't understand what I've been through. So, you know, when a team or an individual then shifts, okay, so a conscious leader identifies this, and so they take a shift. Remember I said, when you start identifying, you take a shift and you come above the line. So then you open and you're willing to learn. They shift from being in a drama to being in a presence. Okay? So when the team or individual work in presence mode, in above the line, the role moves from being the victim to now being the creator. Okay? So people in the presence take responsibility for their own actions and they stop complaining about what is happening to them. So these people stop complaining. Remember, these guys blame, they stop complaining. Okay? So they go from being victor to now being creator. Life is working for you, not against you. In presence, the villain, so the victim becomes the creator. Okay? The villain becomes the challenger. Okay? And the hero becomes the coach. Cool. Challenges bring a healthy pressure to the creator. So a creator cannot function unless they've got a challenge. And challenges bring a good pressure to them because it supports them in facing and dealing with their lives. This causes them to push through And when you push through, what happens? You get breakthrough. So you can take that in a normal situation. We need to be challenged. We were made creators because we were made in the likeness and image of Christ Jesus. So we need challenges to come our way to cause us to get to our breakthrough. But it depends on which side of the line you're acting on, how you're going to see that challenge. Because most people are going to see it as an obstacle, and other people who are living up here are going to realize that a situation's coming for them to teach them something that they can grow and learn by. So it's a challenge that they take, and it brings the opportunity, but it brings the opportunity for breakthrough. So challenges often build a strong character when you embrace it. They are opportunities to learn and grow. And after all, we are about that, learning and growing. Unlike the villain, they do not play the blame game, nor do they criticize. They build up and exhort, and they compliment and give thanks. In presence, the hero now becomes the coach. So from all three of these brings a sense of engagement. So you're engaging one with another. You get energized because there's a positivity coming with you. You become creative and you align with each other. So the creator is the one that takes the responsibility. Okay, and then because of the challenge, the breakthrough comes through. So the coach is the one that brings everything into happen. He's the one that puts all the creative ideas together. He's the one that empowers his team. And when the challenge comes to the creator, the breakthrough comes after he's taken responsibility. Okay. The coach does not try to fix anything. He would rather empower the individual or the team to create. And when you know sports events, the coach never tries to fix anything in the team. He gives them tactical tools to make the team better. So he empowers them how to win a game. They fully empower everyone, not just themselves, to become creators of their own lives and seek to support them by taking responsibility for creating whatever they want in life, whatever life they want. So we have the ability to create whatever life we want. Yes, sometimes you feel you don't have enough money. Yes, sometimes you feel like the whole world's coming against you. But we need to face that as a challenge, embrace it, and break through. Leaders who act in presence find that they are more productive, more creative, energized, and engage more with their people, align themselves to all the facts, and this energizes them to achieve greatness. They have more fun in all areas of their lives and therefore get things done. You see, remember that you've got to have the play with the work and the balance. So when you start having fun in every area of your life, whether you're working, playing, watching movies, eating, then you start achieving things because it becomes a fun thing to do. So you get the energy to see it through. And you also, when it's always about woe me and I can't do this and it's your fault, you actually remember the toxins we're putting into our body? And that causes you to be powerless. That causes you to have no energy to do anything. But if you're having fun doing something, anything, the energy comes because everything seems to align itself. So I ask you again, are you working from the drama triangle or are you working from presence? So in the leadership, there are 4 effective ways to lead. So before we can become an effective leader, we need to remember the foundation of this course. And the foundation of this course was, where am I? So whether we're working with drama or presence, it's again, where am I? Where am I situated? And it's easy. It's easy to fall off this line. It's really easy to fall off this line. But we need to be aware of everything we're doing and saying, and we need to exert the ability to shift from there to there, because that's a choice we make. It's not a choice anybody can teach us or give us. I've got to decide to be above the line. I've got to be open, I've got to be creative, and I've got to be willing to change. So from where I am leading, am I a present leader, one who's committed to my team, or am I committed to myself? Conscious leaders have flexibility. They're not rigid in their movement. It's not about my way and only my way, and that is it. They are flexible. They are not rigid and stuck and selfish. Other leaders only have one way to show up in this world, and that's to them or all about them. And I know many, many people like that. Every time they open their mouth, it's I've done this and I've done that and I was there and I've gone here, and you forget sometimes the little people that have brought you from there up to here. So sometimes it also takes a bit of humility as a good conscious leader to lead your team, because you've got to humble yourself to work with them and not dictate to them. Remember, leadership is not a dictatorship. It's a team effort. And I can only be as good a leader as my team. So conscious leaders have the ability to adopt their style depending on the need of that moment. So when you presence yourself in the moment, you are able to make a conscious decision on what is being discussed, what is happening, where do we have to go at that specific moment. It doesn't help me walking into a meeting and we're talking about the budget, and now all of a sudden I start talking about people that are coming late to work and stupid stuff like that. You've got to focus on that moment. So a conscious leader has that ability to adapt their style, the flexibility style, in that moment, to that meeting, because he's presently focused on that moment. So the 4 effective ways that they lead today. And the first one is to me. That is under the line. Remember, me, myself, and I. These leaders are reactive leaders. They react to the effect of life that is happening to them. They are a victim mindset. They get energized, agitated, and run on adrenaline. They have to prove that they are always right, and they come against the world or feel like the world is coming against them. Most of these leaders spend a lot of time in the to me box. Me, myself, and I. The second group of leaders is the by me leaders. Now, by me leaders are leaders that step into the by me box. They say to the world that the world is not happening to me. I am creating the experience of the world. They go from being a victim to being a creator. The key is to take responsibility and on new possibilities open. The means and ways now become available to them. They are clear about what they want and have a purpose and a goal. So they know exactly which direction they're going in, but they know how to create their own world. They know, so they are, above the line, remember? You create your destiny. Then you get a through me leader. Now, a through me leader is one who is aware of what could actually happen to the world through them. In other words, I become a vessel for something to happen to the world. Ask, what wants to happen through me? What does love want to do through me? What does this situation want to do through me? These leaders surrender easily. They get unattached to me, myself, and I. So it's not about me, it's about what can work through me. They realize that I am less in control here. And they start to trust that God is through them. And if they surrender to Him, powerful things happen. This is also the ability to surrender to teammates, co-workers, church members, and working teams. Then the fourth leader is the as me, A-S me. These leaders know that there is a greater power than me. They have an awareness of God. These leaders start to cooperate with God and everything going around them. They stop separating me from you, you from them, and they work as one united team. We definitely need more as-me's in this world. They start to see the possibilities for everybody to win together. As me gets there by experiencing the powerful concept of oneness. You know, there's power in unity, and the as me leaders notice that straight away. We are nothing without God and are entirely dependent on Him, a relationship with the Father. It is all about attitude. So on the notes, you'll see that I've given you an extensive, detailed breakdown of the four leaders. I've also given you extensive extra notes on the difference between the hero, the villain, and presencing yourself. So that's a little bit of homework that you can go and read. One thing I'd like to just pinpoint here quickly is that as a coach, you use your entire body to function. So you use your head, your body, and your mind. And you know, you've got to be aware of God within you to be able to do that. Because I do believe that, you know, it's any leadership position, any position in life should be from the identity of who Christ is within you. And when you identify that, it's much easier to walk in a as me, for example, position, because I'm now surrendered to a higher authority who's Jesus Christ. And when He leads you and guides you, and because you're open to Him leading you, it's easier for you to bring His word or bring His perspective into any situation. So it's vitally important for me that every single person becomes an as-me person or leader in their lives. That they realize that this world was never made for just me. And God has a purpose and a plan for us all together. We are one family. And when we work together in oneness, in accordance to Him and the openness of the Father's heart, then we achieve the best greatness we can. Then we're better than any of the other, you know, it's better than any leader that could be, you know. So become conscious of who Christ is within you, and become aware of people around you and who God puts into your life, because that is what it's about. And then we work together as a team. It's never my way and I'm telling you, no, you're going to do it like this and there's no answer about it. How do you feel about it? Do you have an opinion on this? And if I don't like the opinion and I am the leader, I do have the right as a leader to say, listen, we will still do it this way. I like your idea, but let's shelve it for another time, or discuss it. You never shut the person down and just say, I'm not, sorry, you are not worth anything. Don't tell me anything. I'm not interested. Or, when you're focusing on that person, it makes a difference to the person's life. It's the worst thing if you're talking to somebody and you're trying to share a testimony about God's word, or you're trying to share a truth that you have got about, and it's I know but, and turns to another person to talk, because you get the impression you have not heard what I've said. And as me leaders are aware of everything that is going around them, and the through me leaders, they're able to put their skills to work in that. So, we need to become leaders that are always above the line, because our future was already declared back in Isaiah, where he says, you have a bright future. I've ordained you to have a bright future. So God has already won the battle. We've just got to get ourselves there. But we've also got to get our teammates there. So we need to work together as me leaders, as me people, oneness in Christ, listening to the Father, surrendering to Him, and taking the next step into our destiny, creating the next step of our destiny. So that's tonight's lesson. Next week we're going to do a lesson on taking 100% responsibility. And then we're going to get into the actual characteristics of a leader, like integrity, honesty, candor, those type of things. So I look forward to seeing you guys all next week. Go through the notes, go through those extra notes. They're very informative. Thank you to Conscious Leaders Group. I appreciate some of the materials they have assisted me with. And so be blessed. Have an awesome week further. I'll see you next week.